Hey, what's up guys? I'm Yalek and it is Free Resource Friday, although that matters more to my mini account than my main account. But since my schedule is off and I'm trying to get my supply chest back to my regular schedule first thing in the morning, I'm going to go ahead and do that first, so I'll probably post this video later in the day and I'll immediately be doing another one about Imitation Game. So I'm going to do some of these NPC bases. I've been saving up the ones that I know I haven't done yet. So without further ado, we have Zukas and Brick loaded up, and the first one on my list was Blast Furnace. So let's see if we can find that. Alright. Okay. So usually coming from this area, I'm gonna BART. Well, I'm gonna clear mines, obviously. From that area, we're going to have to shock the rockets. We're gonna have to get rid of that, I think. And then probably 2 shocks down here. So let's go ahead with that. By the way, I was tempted to try a video this morning from my mini account because we've got some fun things happening down there. Shouldn't have done that. I should have just done this and hoped to clear those mines. Incidentally, I guess. Imitation Game is great for resources down on the baby accounts, where they matter more, obviously. One thing, yep. And so Imitation, I've been saving up resources for a week, building up, I guess, so that I could get to HQ 15, which is happening as of this morning, right now. Broke my rule of leaving resources lying around for much of the week in order to accumulate enough so that this morning, after stage 2 on Imitation Game, I had enough to get HQ 15 going, which is significant because HQ 15 will allow Radar 15, and Radar 15 will open up the territory that gives me, I think it's Hammerman 45 base. And it looks like, oh no, it's the War Factory base. And that base gives you Everspark. So that's Blast Furnace down. Let's see, we're going to take on Chock and Awe here. Everspark it's just a huge thing not to have these heroes at this stage of the game, so getting anything like that is super, super exciting. I will say, these guys are chatty. I log in a lot of times and there will be 100 responses waiting up there. You know, in the morning I'll say something, and then by the afternoon I won't even be able to see if there was an answer because the answer will have been eliminated. Alright, so probably a BART in there. I'm thinking like a Critter Shock right about here. Seems good to me. And then probably same off in this area. So critters, shock, shock. And the one thing we need to check here is beach. And we have beach up until about even with this flamethrower. So I could start a drop over here. I'll probably gather up over in this area. We are going to have to clear some mines. But this will also help with that process. Yeah, so HQ in 15 inbound down there. The Imitation Game attacks down there are just kind of boring. There's not a lot to them. Mainly, you know, flanking and stuff. I just tried my first smoke attack on that account yesterday, and it didn't end up going Shoot, should have done one. And Brick is going to end up over there, isn't she? Alright, hand peeking all over the place. So this is definitely not ideally done, but whatever, we'll make it work. Yeah, I still don't have the GBE down there to make stuff like that work. Let's change that flare spot just a tiny bit. Activate. So those kind of tricks are a little bit beyond me. Not much though. I have had a real problem down there with statues. There's a friend in my current task force down there who's a similar level. I'm about 33 and I think he's 32, and he has fabulous statues. He got a 30 something. He has a GBE masterpiece, and he also has a 17% GBE guardian to go with that, which is a perfect GBE guardian. So he has GBE for days, and meanwhile I've been struggling along with one lowly guardian for the longest time, and I can't get a masterpiece. And finally I got a second GBE guardian, which puts me up to a total of plus 25%. So I was Chock and Awe, and we're looking at lock on. So for a total of like plus 25% on GBE, and really the only thing lacking for me is more GBE, and then I would be able to do so many more things down there. He's been so lucky, and I have had the worst statue luck down there. My Boom Raider account, the very first statue I made, masterpiece I made, those are the only ones I really care about right at the moment, so I keep saying statue, but masterpiece to be specific. The first masterpiece I made was a red, and I was so excited because that was going to open up new worlds for me and blah 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 blah. And when it came out, it was a 15% GBE masterpiece, and I was so disappointed because a 15% GBE masterpiece is barely even a GBE masterpiece. That's a guardian. And so then the second statue I made, as my problems continued, was halfway decent anyway. It was a 25%, but it was troop health, and I'm not really interested in troop health. 25%, which is not good, but it is at least solidly mediocre troop health. But I don't really care for troop health. I want troop damage, and I want Power Stone chance too, but primarily troop damage and GBE. And I have had no luck getting those. So I still have, well, no, there's a third part in this saga, which is that was lock on. Which is that then I made my third red masterpiece, and you remember my first was the 15%. We're looking at Cocky next. Where's Cocky? Cocky's an easy one. My first one was that 15% so-called masterpiece. My third one was a 17% damage masterpiece, and I was just like, I mean, it's a tiny improvement, but I was just so frustrated at that point because the game is just stringing me along here, I feel like. So still my troop damage is pretty limited, and we could we're going to try to hit that shock up top, which is a triple. We're going to leave this. So we're going to have 3 shocks to pull off, and we'll make it 2 because of the triple. Yeah, the game just will not give me any sort of a break on my mini account as far as the statues go. And meanwhile, my friend in that same task force has had pure gold for statues. And that's just kind of the way the game goes. So, I mean, that sucks and all. Boo-hoo for me. But what you do in that case, I did get a Power Stone chance Guardian. It's not great, but... And did we get the nasty shock? We did. Good. All 5 towers up top. Oh, forgot about the flamethrowers. Cool. Didn't even account for them. So worried about the nasty shock and didn't even account for flamethrowers. That's smart. So what you do is you get Power Stone chance statues at that point, and then I mean, it's luck of the draw. It's luck of the draw. It's a lottery. So if you up your chance of getting Power Stones, then you can, and that was a very bad copy. You up your chance of getting Power Stones, then you up your chance of getting better statues. And even if the game does not reward you with a jackpot, with just pure good luck, you can go ahead and make your own luck by getting lots and lots of statues. Lots and lots of stones, lots of statues, and push through those statues until you get one that you are interested in. So, I have had the Guardian. I would take a Power Stone chance. Let's see, there's an interesting one. Look at Geometry Wars. I haven't done that one yet, have I? No, and I think that one is more interesting. It is. So we're going to take a run at this. Yeah, you basically get to make your own good luck that way, by forcing the game ultimately, just by powering through it until you get the statues that you want and need. So let's see, Geometry Wars probably from the top, 2 shocks. There are no long range towers here, so we're going to have to clear mines, going to have to walk through this area. And we're going to have a shock standing right about, probably right next to that mortar. So we're going to have a shock for all of those, possibly a shock down here. We're going to leave that mortar alone, but we'll throw some critters over here, and to further that, maybe we'll throw an extra shock. So we'll just go shock, shock right in there for these 6 towers, and one on those critters on that. And let's make a go for it. So I'm doing my best, but really those attacks are not particularly interesting because there is no trickery or anything involved yet. Like my task force members in that task force were super impressed last night, where I did an off hit and I re-smoked in the middle of it. Oh, why did I smoke the beach there? Did not need to. I re-smoked in the middle of the hit so that I could defend my back end, basically, as a rocket was going to fire on me, and I was walking towards it. So I just threw a smoke over the tail end, and they were flabbergasted. And we have completely lost the delay on that, so that's a good one. Like, if that's the amount of trickery you're pulling off, that's nothing whatsoever. So we gotta go 1, we gotta go 2, and hopefully she goes down nice and easy here. There we go, minimal losses. The mortar will barely have time to land, so that's Geometry Wars. Yeah, but give me a little bit more GBE, give me Everspark, and then we can really start to play around, and then maybe I can show you some videos from that account that are interesting. Meanwhile, this is NPC basis segment number 4, and that's my supply chest. So tomorrow when I wake up in the morning, let's see, for me it's about 9:45, it's exactly 9:45. So when I wake up in the morning, I will be able to just go ahead and knock the supply chest out of the way first thing. And yeah, that's what I like. Alright, I am Yalek. Drop a like if you find this of any interest. Drop a comment, one way or the other, say hi, and I hope you have a good day. Take it easy.